A very long time ago, in a land we now call China, there lived a wise old man. His name was Laozi. They called him the Old Master. He was not a king, he was not a general, he was a simple keeper of old books. He saw the world in a special way. He saw a great secret all around, yet nobody noticed it. Laozi saw the way of things. In his language, this was called the Tao. It is a path everything follows naturally, the quiet rhythm of the seasons changing, the silent pull of the moon on the tides, the gentle way a tree grows toward the sun. Laozi wrote down what he knew. The book is called the Tao Te Ching. It gives few rules. It doesn't tell you what you must do. Instead, it points toward something, like a finger pointing at the moon. The finger is not the moon, but it helps you see it. The Tao Te Ching helps us see the Tao. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. Think of it like the wind. You cannot see the wind. You cannot hold it in your hands. You can feel it on your skin. You can see leaves dance when it passes by. You can hear its whisper in the trees. The Tao is an unseen force, a quiet power. It is the source of all things, the great mystery that holds the stars in the sky and helps the smallest seeds sprout and grow. Taoism isn't strict commandments. It's a philosophy, a way of looking at life. It studies the natural flow of the universe. At the heart of Taoist wisdom lies a profound and beautiful concept, the power of simplicity. In a world that constantly urges us to want more, do more, and be more, Taoism invites us to find peace by returning to the essential. It's not about living a life of stark deprivation, but about clearing away the clutter, the unnecessary desires, the frantic ambitions, the noise of external expectations, so we can hear our own true nature. To understand this, the Tao Te Ching offers a powerful metaphor, the uncarved block, or pu. Imagine a piece of wood, fresh from the forest. It hasn't been shaped by a carpenter's tools. It isn't a chair, a table, or an ornate sculpture. It is simply wood, in its most natural and unadorned state. In this simplicity, it holds infinite potential. It could become anything, but once it is carved, its destiny is fixed. It can only be that one thing. The uncarved block represents this state of pure, untamed possibility. This uncarved block is a symbol for our own original nature. It is the essence of who we are before the world begins its carving. Before we are given labels, before we are told we must be richer, more successful, or more admired. It is the quiet, authentic self that exists beneath the layers of social conditioning, ambition, and the roles we are expected to play. It is the part of us that doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. And in this state, there is a deep contentment. The uncarved block is not anxious about what it will become. It is perfectly complete, just as it is. This is not a state of weakness, but of profound, quiet strength. Its power comes not from what it does, but from what it is solid, grounded, and whole. This wisdom naturally leads to humility. The uncarved block is humble, it makes no claims. The Tao Te Ching illustrates this with the image of water. A great river does not struggle to climb the highest mountain. Instead, it naturally seeks the lowest ground, the humble valleys. And because it occupies the place that others leave behind, all the smaller streams and tributaries flow into it without any effort on its part. Its greatness is an unintended consequence of its humility. It leads by following and gains by giving way. In contrast, arrogance and boasting are seen as a source of instability. As Laozi wrote, "He who stands on tiptoe is not steady." It takes constant effort to maintain a facade of superiority, and it is ultimately unsustainable. True strength, like the uncarved block or the deep river, has no need to announce itself. It is self-contained and secure. Humility, then, is not about thinking less of yourself, but about thinking of yourself less. It is the quiet recognition that we are all interconnected, small but essential parts of a vast and magnificent universe. In nature, a fundamental principle is at play. Everything has its opposite. We see it in the rhythm of day and night, the interplay of light and shadow. These are not separate forces, but interconnected partners. This dynamic relationship is what Taoist philosophy calls yin and yang. They are not enemies, but partners in a cosmic dance, flowing into one another to seek balance. The classic symbol itself shows this. Within darkness, there is always a seed of light. This principle of balance extends to our own lives. While we often wish for only happiness, life is a whole spectrum. There will inevitably be sad and hard times. These moments are the yin to our yang of joy. Taoism teaches us not to fight this rhythm. Instead of resisting life's storms, we are encouraged to understand their place in the larger pattern. By accepting both sun and rain, we find a more profound peace. This wisdom of acceptance leads to a powerful concept, Wu Wei. While often translated as non-action, it doesn't mean being lazy or passive. That would be silly. Instead, Wu Wei is the art of effortless action. It's about acting in a way so aligned with the natural flow of things that your actions feel spontaneous and easy, free from internal struggle. Imagine a skilled boatman on a powerful river. A novice might fight the current, exhausting themselves. But the master of Wu Wei understands the river, using its power to guide their boat downstream with minimal effort. Or think about learning to ride a bicycle. At first, it's all force and control, and you fall. But then, something clicks. You relax, stop overthinking, and find your balance. You are simply riding. That is a taste of Wu Wei. Action without struggle. When you swim against the current, you quickly tire. But if you align with the flow, it carries you far with ease. Trying to force a solution is like trying to dam a river. The pressure builds until it breaks. The gentle wisdom of Wu Wei is like holding a small bird. Grasp it too tightly, and you'll crush it. But with an open palm, the bird feels safe. It may rest and fly away when it is ready. True influence is found in gentle allowance. Ultimately, Wu Wei is about the delicate balance between effort and surrender. It's not about giving up, but giving to the flow of life. It requires us to trust the process. We do our part. We plant the seed, we steer the boat. But then we must also have the wisdom to step back, let go of our need to control the outcome, and allow things to unfold naturally. The Tao Te Ching is a book of profound wisdom, often presented through paradoxes. These aren't just clever mind puzzles. They are invitations to shift our perspective and find strength in unexpected places. They challenge our conventional thinking, asking us to look deeper for a more subtle, more powerful truth. Consider the famous line, "The softest thing in the universe overcomes the hardest." Think of water. A single drop is gentle, but the persistent flow of a river can wear down the most formidable stone, carving vast canyons. It doesn't use brute force. It uses patience and persistence. This teaches us that true strength isn't always about being hard and unyielding. It can be found in gentleness and consistency. This leads to another paradox. Flexibility is a kind of strength. The rigid oak tree may crack in a storm, but the bamboo bends with the wind and springs back when it passes. In our own lives, rigid plans and fixed opinions can make us brittle. By learning to be flexible, to adapt to changing circumstances, we become more resilient and enduring. The Tao also challenges our ideas about knowledge. To know you don't know is best. To think you know when you don't is a sickness. This isn't a call for ignorance, but for intellectual humility. Believing we have all the answers closes the door to growth. True wisdom begins with acknowledging what we don't know. This humility keeps the mind open, curious, and always learning. This principle of yielding is a powerful tool. Yield and overcome. Bend and be straight. The skilled boatman doesn't fight the river's current. He yields to its flow, using its energy to go farther. The martial artist redirects an opponent's momentum to prevail. Sometimes the wisest move is to let trouble pass, saving our energy for what truly matters. This culminates in the metaphor of leading like water. The highest good is like water. It benefits all and does not compete. It seeks the lowest places, and in its humility, it supports all life. A leader like water adapts, listens, and empowers. They don't need the spotlight. The Tao suggests the best leader is one who is barely noticed. When the work is done, the team feels a sense of ownership, saying, "We did it ourselves." This quiet, humble leadership builds not just success, but trust, resilience, and genuine joy. Our modern world is noisy, rushing, worrying, stress. Our minds are like muddy water, all stirred up. The Taoist solution? Let it be still. The mud settles by itself, then clarity returns. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, don't change the breath, just notice it come and go. When worries arise, gently return to breathing, reconnect with nature. Walk without music or phone. Look, listen, and feel. Make islands of calm, a breath, a walk, watching clouds. We don't fight stress, we allow it to dissolve in stillness. In the end, simplicity, humility, Wu Wei, and water-like leadership all point back to the Tao. Our world pushes struggle and forcing, and breeds stress and disconnection. Laozi offers another path: contentment, harmony, inner peace, and clarity. Practice where you are. Be simpler, more humble, breathe before forcing, be like water. Nature is the greatest teacher, always reminding us life doesn't have to be a struggle.